Welcome to the TTT News Special. I'm DK Ronstar. Shanice Charles and Shenée Winchester did a pre-launch of their Cereaously Grounded breakfast cereal towards the end of 2020. Now these energetic, vibrant co-founders of Dear Diet Enterprises join us to discuss their company, their products, and the vision behind them. Hello, ladies.
Hi.
Very glad that you're able to make the time to have this conversation. And Shenée, we'll start off with you giving us a little overview of your journey as a small business. Thank you.
Okay, so Dear Diet started off actually as a meal delivery service. In 2018, I believe it was, we entered a competition where we displayed our product to judges, and we came forth and received a cash prize of $5,000. After the competition, we kind of found that we did some introspection, and we found that this meal delivery service area was kind of full, and we wanted to boom somewhere else and be in a field that we can make a difference. So we did some introspection, and we decided we needed to come up with a new product. And through brainstorming, we decided to come up with ground provision cereal. And from there, we started using sweet potato, thinking that that's sweet, that's the best way to go. But then we decided, after doing different product testing and different conversations, we decided that, well, Dasheen cereal was the best way to go, as well as because Dasheen is local, especially in Tobago, we like to say it's a wheat thing, right? So we started doing different recipe testing, and then we entered a competition last year during the Blue Food Virtual Festival. It was virtual this year, and we decided to enter. And when we entered, at that time we didn't have a product to launch. We had the product through recipe testing, but we weren't ready to launch as yet. And when we posted the product in the morning, I think in about 2 hours, a lot of persons were calling me, where could they get this product? What's the name of the Facebook page? And they just started not bombarding us, but we got so many messages and so many calls that day in that 2 hour period after launching. And each time even though we were both at work, we keep checking to see, okay, it have 1,000 shares now, it has so much views now. And from there, that afternoon, we decided, let's launch the product, let's start. And since then, that was in November, since then to now, we have officially launched. We are selling at different supermarkets in Tobago. And I think that's basically the main part of our journey. We have met a lot of persons. We have given them the cereal to try. We even met the Prime Minister, and we gave him the cereal to try. And he was so impressed when he tasted the cereal. He was like, this is Dasheen, Tobago Dasheen. He was so impressed of the cereal being, locally made, especially by 2 young entrepreneurs.
And I want to get into the fact that there are 2 young entrepreneurs from Tobago doing this. But even before that, though, when I think, and Shanice, I'll bring you in, thank you. When I think about ground provision and I think in breakfast, I think, okay, well, possibly we're going to boil it and make porridge, or you're going to make a punch. So what goes through your mind to say, okay, we're going to use this to make cereal? And how long was that kind of research and development process like?
Well, actually, it took us about 3 years to get the final recipe to where it's at now. Through a lot of testing, a lot of different methods trying to get it to where it's at. We chose Dasheen again because it's Tobago. That's what we're known for. Ideally, because we are both dietitians as well, we like to promote the use of complex carbohydrates. So that would be our ground provisions and our whole grains. So the Dasheen came in perfectly for this product.
And no, you can't.
The actual flavor of the cereal, it's called Caribbean coconut, and it comes with pineapple chunks and without pineapple chunks in it. So the pineapple, of course, makes it a little bit sweeter. Those are for persons who actually want the added fruit. The one without the fruit is the persons who monitoring their sugar intake a bit more, or just don't want any fruit in their cereal. We have persons who try it and very shocked because they think of dasheen as a savory thing. Dasheen you'll eat with some fish or something, or you'll put it in bread. But when we tell them, this is a cereal, we make this by hand. It's a lot of love and a lot of hours that go into it. And to see the expressions on person's faces after they try it, it's well worth it.
And now I want you all to break down because there's that piece of stuff I want to talk to you all about in terms of like moving from being chefs to dietitians. We're not going to talk about that yet. But yes, man, we will look inside the thing. But benefits of ground provisions, and I like the fact that you already started to speak about complex carbohydrates, Shanice. So the difference between a complex carbohydrate and a simple one using it for breakfast, what are some of those pros and cons?
Right. So the complex carbohydrates has a bit more fiber. And fiber is what helps us with regulation. It helps us keep fuller longer. And when you have ground provisions in something, you tend to eat that and you're good for a couple of hours well, right? So again, we like to promote the use of complex carbohydrates because it is the best option, even if you're not diabetic or have any ailments or any of those. Just want a general healthy eating. You want to follow those guidelines.
And I smile thinking about dasheen now because now I know there are at least 3 types. There's a white, there's a blue, and there's a yellow, and each of them would grow in little different places. But where do you source your input from?
So we do Tobago and Trinidad and the occasional importing, of course, based on our prices as well. We try to absorb as much of the cost by using our local, promoting the local. Mm-hmm. That way we could incorporate a lot of our farmers in that aspect.
I also want to add that there's also a red dasheen that we recently discovered when we got it from supplier. We saw the dasheen was red and we was like, what is it? This is sweet potato. He gave us the wrong thing. And then only upon inspecting and speaking to the farmer, then we realized, oh, it's red dasheen, right? And then we started doing our own research and then we realized that it's very commonly used.
And what was that process like? And I'll stay with you, please, Shenée, in terms of how long? So I'm hearing it took about 3 years of research and development. Shout out to the people that were taste testing, and I'm sure because that makes me want to know what kind of support system did you have around you, and people saying, okay, well, I feel it could take a little more of this, or I feel it could take a little less of that, but also how long does the process take in terms of you get your product from your farmers, you get the dasheen from the farmers. How long is it before the cereal is ready or is prepared?
Okay, so let me answer your last question first, and then I'll answer the first one after. So the cereal takes a pretty long time to be prepared. So then we get it from the farmers, then we have to, clean the dasheen, and we clean it by hand at the moment, because we are a small business. So we have to clean it by hand, and dasheen can scratch at times. So then after we process the dasheen, then we have to get it into the consistency that we prefer it, which takes a couple hours. And then after that, we have to then can make the cereal. So before that, it takes about 8 hours to process the dasheen to get it to the point that we can make the cereal. Mm-hmm. And then now, after we make the cereal, then we have to bake it and then dry it out to make it as crispy as possible. And then that also takes a couple hours as well. So it can take about 8, starting with 8 and about 10 hours to get it from start to finish into the package. Right? And to answer your first question, yes, our support system, because our co-workers tasted it when our families got fed up of tasting, then, parents tasting, then, sometimes your parents might be a little, not as harsh as the critique mightn't be as harsh as you want it. So then you have to go outside, family and friends as well would have tasted it. And even after we launched, when we did our first launch, we offered our customers to provide feedback And from that feedback, we were able to get like a bigger tasting to see, and then we made some recipe adjustments even after to make sure that the cereal is what it is now and make sure that it's the best quality of the cereal.
All right, now, Shania said something in terms of it seems as though it's a labor intensive process. And if I remember correctly, the packaging has as one of the ingredients a lot of love. And
Yeah.
so we want to jump on that train when we return from this break. We are speaking with Shenée Winchester and Shanice Charles, Dear Diet Enterprises. Stay with us. Welcome back. We are speaking with the co-founders of Dear Diet Enterprises, Shanice Charles and Shenée Winchester. Shanice, Shenée spoke about having your co-workers taste test. Is it that Dear Diet Enterprises is one of the things that you all are doing, and how do you all juggle that if it is?
Well, at the moment, we are both Shenée is a full-time employee at the moment. I am not anymore, but it is a lot of juggling, doing full-time work, plus this is another full-time occupation, and then monitoring our social media and posting and all of that. It is a lot of work, but it's very much well worth it. Getting persons interacting with us and actually seeking out to purchase, it is well worth it.
And
it takes a lot of time management, a lot of setting reminders for multiple things. Yeah.
I can just imagine. And while we're on that, let's beat the iron while it's hot. What is the contact information for Dear Diet Enterprises? How do people reach out to you? Because it seems as though you all are at different locations now physically, as opposed to just being a virtual service.
Yeah, so our social media pages, we have a Facebook page, Dear Diet Enterprises. We also have Instagram, which is at Dear Diet Ent. We have an email, which is deardietent@gmail.com. You can contact us via phone, WhatsApp, text message, any of those at 779-3463 or 704-6032. For Tobago, you can purchase at 5 different locations, but at the moment for Trinidad, we are just doing online sales where you order via 868.market. You can also find that link on our social media pages if you can't remember, or scan the barcode. You'll be able to get access straight to the website. And we have delivery options to your nearest address or 868 hub as it's termed. So it's available in both Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay, does the order have to be a specific size? Because I know sometimes people talk about it can't be less than this in order.
No, you can purchase 1 pack, you can purchase 10 packs. It's up to you. Yeah. So there's no minimum amount for order.
Great, and we keep that in mind. Thank you. What is some of the feedback that you've been getting so far? And I'll ask you this, Shanice, before we go over to Shenée again, please.
Okay, some of the feedback, it's actually really good. Persons looking for alternative sources of cereal or even just snack options. Many persons use it without milk and just have it as a snack option in their bags or going to work or even at home. We've had as young as 2-year-olds enjoying cereal, up to, of course, a more mature person. They have it either in their oats, they mix it in punch sometimes. So persons have gotten really innovative with how they're using it. And it's really good to see.
And I can even see it being used as something that you would use as the base of a trail mix, because you buy other things and you mix it, you put it together, especially if you're having it dry throughout the day. So you just get that and you continue, as opposed to saying, okay, well, we're looking for something else and we need to do it like that. But Shenée,
and it's actually very filling.
And then we go back.
So you don't have to eat a whole lot.
And we go back to those complex carbohydrates, right?
Yes.
But Shenée, how do you feel, or ladies, let me ask both of you, because to give me your individual takes, how do you feel doing this? Because this feels as though in this time, when we're looking for options, we're looking for things that are a lot more local, and this is both just in terms of drunk or sober, mind your business with regard to the money that you have, in addition to just trying to expand the offerings that we can get in Trinidad and Tobago. How do you feel? Is it that you have a sense of responsibility at this point in time, saying, okay, well, we are part of this change that we want to see?
Well, when we started out at first, remember, Shanice says has many years in the making. We were just making a cereal when we started out, but we wanted something to set us apart. But with the recent pandemic and the way how the foreign exchange is going, then it's only then we realized, I think it was last year's budget when the foreign minister was saying that cereals take up a lot of the budget in terms of purchasing outside, right? And it's only then I think we started discussing it to see the impact that it have on the cereal and even on the local market, as well, and the impact that it could have on our the amount of on our country. Because what happened is that when we carried it to one of our suppliers, one of the persons who sells the cereal, she was speaking to us and she was like, do you understand the product that you all have right now? This product could help save the country and help to save, our foreign exchange, because we are not able to purchase the things that we are right now, and we are doing a lot of budget cuts outside. And this product is locally made up. Well, it's almost 100% locally sourced as well, right? We try to stay as local as possible. So she was explaining to us, and only then I think it really set in that the type of product it is, especially now we are seeing other companies as well try to use more cassava or other local provisions or local ingredients instead of using the wheat or the foreign ingredients. So we were like, oh my gosh, we have been ahead of our time. We didn't even think of that when we actually started, but only now we are actually seeing the impact or seeing the possibility that this cereal can have and can hold.
Yeah.
And with a thought like that, Shanice, do you think, and I'll continue along that line of responsibility, to young women doing something that is so proactive, so positive, do you see yourself in a kind of role model kind of position, or you're just trying to organize your own business right about now and move forward like that?
I mean, I guess we can be role models. Everyone will have somebody to look up to. I don't think we set out to be that, to hold that amount of responsibility. We just do what we could, right? We just try to make a difference, even as how small it could be. Just try to make some sort of impact somewhere, a positive impact at that.
And talking about the impact, though, what kind of impact will the cost of the cereal have on pockets, and how does it kind of reflect against competition from outside?
Well, as we know, dashing is a little bit expensive. So at the moment, we are priced at $30 for the 165-gram pouch. That's through us. If you buy it at other suppliers, of course, they will have to price it to suit their needs. But it can go up to $36 per pouch.
All right, and I take that, but I also take it in the context that you may not need as much, because when you take some of this, it wholly different as opposed to, you understand? But ladies, we want to thank you so much, Shanice Charles and Shenée Winchester, for doing what you're doing, shining a light and sharing some time with us. And we want to thank you for tuning into the TTT News Special. Have a good one.